Aloha, friends and neighbors. Raleigh Frost here, Kona Astrologer. Got some interesting things to share with you on this program 1108. We're going to cover the last part of February, first part of March 2018. All the planets are in Pisces. That's why I wrote the water signs are empowered. All these planets in Pisces, trining Jupiter in Scorpio. Lots of water power here, boy. Come on, I'll show you. There's the sky mirror. Look at that, the sun's 5 to 15 degrees of Pisces. And here's Neptune in Pisces, and Mercury in Pisces, and Venus in Pisces, and Chiron in Pisces. And a whole bunch of them is in trine to Jupiter. Wonderful Jupiter, the lightning bolts of truth. Now Jupiter's getting bigger. Next week when I draw it, it'll be huge because it's slowing down to stop at 23 degrees of Scorpio. It's going to go retrograde on March 9th, not too far ahead of you. So that's when it peaks out in power. More truth, more thunder, lightning. That's what Jupiter likes. Jove. So you could see some, I call him the lawyer professor because, the professor says, da-da-da-da, throws his lightning bolt of truth, and the students say, oh, now we see it clear. The lawyer goes, da-da-da-da, and throws his lightning bolt of truth, and the jury says, now we see it clear. Now we understand. That's what Jupiter likes. In the Mayan, he's Shak, the rain god. He brings rain, thunderstorms. The great benefic is trining all the planets in Pisces. I expect some... Now, Pluto is here, too, see? Pluto's still in sextile with Jupiter. Pluto, Sherlock Holmes, discovering, along with lightning bolts of truth, and these Pisces planets could produce some really magical things. Let's check it out day by day and see how it goes for you. We're going to run the moon around the edge here. And as the moon makes angles, squares 90 degrees, trines 120 degrees. Hold on to it, stiffen up, that's a square. Let it go, and it'll happen. That's a trine. So if you're in the Thursday night show, well, you got the moon squaring the sun. And you're not going to get anything done Thursday night, and your plans are going to not bear fruit, as it were. So don't be frustrated. Friday morning won't be much better. Here's the square to Mercury. See, the moon's in Gemini. Well, it's in Gemini. It's squaring all the Pisces planets. So there's miscommunication Friday. And then here's confusion. In the middle of Friday, just before lunch, here's moon squaring Neptune. Whoa, cloudy, deceptive, confusion, delusion. And then as you go in around dinner time, here's the moon opposing Mars and squaring Venus. And everybody feels social, but there's a lot of energy on romance and sex, but it ain't going to work out very well. Look out. Not a time for the party. If you threw a party on Friday the 23rd, all the girls would be in one room and the boys in the other room. Well, that's just Friday. How about Saturday? Saturday, the moon's still in Gemini. Here's the breakfast time. Here's a square to Chiron in Pisces. We don't want to help anybody. But look at this. As you go just before lunch, here's the sextile to Uranus. There's some brotherhood. In la catch, the Mayan said, I am another you. Think about that. It's true. We're all the same in spirit, inside, just in different charts. In la catch, I am another you. What a wonderful greeting to make when you meet a person, huh? Anyway, just before lunch Saturday, you'll feel some of that. Saturday night, before dinner, the moon changes into Cancer, a water sign. And now we're going to power up on the water sign stuff. But Saturday's okay. Get to Sunday morning, and there's Saturn. The moon opposes Saturn. Ugh. Too many rules and regulations. Politicians making laws. Ugh. Now these lines here separating the days, that's midnight on the west coast. So that's in Hawaii, it's 2 a.m. So this line's 2 a.m. Each mark is 2 hours, basically. So 2, 4, 6, it's about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. The moon will oppose Saturn. And you'll slow down. What, too big a breakfast? Whatever it is, you'll get over it quick, because here's a nice trine to the sun. And the water signs are empowered. And so before you get to lunch, you get a plan. And about lunchtime, middle of the day, in the early afternoon, here's a trine to Neptune. You're inspired. And then at dinner time, here's a trine to Mercury. You're talking about it, writing it down. Good for you. The good vibes for water signs, by the way, Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. And kind of good for earth signs, too. The Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. You're doing great. Keep it up. Here, Monday morning, here's a nice trine to Venus. Too bad you couldn't stay in bed, but you got to get up and go to work, huh? It's okay. Here's a trine to Jupiter. You're going to love it. There's jokes. The jokers are out. Everybody's laughing and having fun Monday morning. Nice. And here's Chiron, too. Just before lunch, we're going to help people. It's a nice Monday morning, at least until you get to here. What's that? That's Uranus. There's a square to Uranus. And the battery failed and the power went out. And there's a glitch. It's in the middle of Monday. It's about 1 or 2 o'clock Monday, the afternoon. Remember, these are 2 a.m. Yeah. So here, about 9, 10 o'clock, the moon switches, goes into Leo on Monday. The vibes are different. Things quiet down a little bit, and the fire signs are out. Not too bad. The North Node is here, late Tuesday, here around midnight, 1 a.m. Moon goes by the North Node. There's a lot of warmth around and helping vibes. Wednesday morning, here's the trine to Mars. You got a lot of energy. Get out and be a hero. Help fix things. That's what Tuesday night and Wednesday's all about. And on Wednesday afternoon, just after lunch, here's a trine to Uranus. In La Ketch, the Brotherhood. Yeah. Higher mental sciences. So you can start playing. You got to play with astrology, to learn it. Good time to start. Wednesday, the 28th of February. Thursday, well, the moon's gone into Virgo. And we're in trouble. Virgo doesn't like Pisces. You're going towards a full moon in the middle of the day. It's 11 Virgo 23. It opposes Neptune, this full moon. So we're going to spend the next month not liking Neptune Pisces stuff necessarily. Neptune, the priest, artist, doctor, musician, is going to fall out of favor after this full moon. Yeah. So this is not a good time for alcohol. No. Not a good time for make-believe. Somebody will call you on it if you're making it up or dramatizing, acting out. That's what Neptune does. Here's the opposition to Neptune itself. This is about dinner time, just after dinner on Thursday, March 1st. Worries over water. Deception. The vibes continue, but we get some control here Friday. Friday, here's a trine to Pluto. Discovery happens. And here, before lunch is a sextile to Jupiter. Aha! So this is your wisdom, discovery, and be wise, and new things. But it's all interspersed with, after discovery, here's a problem with Mercury on Friday. We're not talking about it. And then, aha, I see the truth. And then here's an opposition to Venus. I'm lazy. All I can think of is sugar and sex. Oh, boy. And a square to Mars. Romeo and Juliet are squabbling again. It's Friday night. Now it's Friday during the middle of the day and into the afternoon. Fridays are not good. The Mars is squaring Venus, and it goes off on Fridays. Not a time for social activities. There's Chiron, too, Moon opposing Chiron. We don't want to help anybody. Screw those homeless people. Kind of hard-hearted, huh? It gets a little worse on Saturday. The moon goes into Libra, and here's a square to Saturn. We could all turn into Scrooge. What, me help the homeless? I need the money myself. Well, that's the way it is Saturday morning. Could be cold. Not a real easy Saturday morning. Continues through Saturday, and in Sunday the 4th, well, here's a square to Pluto. It's a little panicky. And even though Mars is out, the young guys are out, the heroes, trying to fix stuff around dinner time Sunday. After dinner, here's the opposition to Uranus, and the wind blew down the wires, the electricity went out. It's that kind of Sunday, the 4th. That's the way it is during this turbulent time. You water signs and earth signs better enjoy this. This is a pretty neat time for you. Here's the astrocartography map for the March 1st full moon. And what you'll see is, here's Hawaii. We have Uranus over here. Eek, power outage. Most of all, here's Pluto going by, which gives you a sense of panic. This almost looks a little bit like, this is not a drill. Okay, here's the chart of that full moon. You can see Pluto opposing. Eek, a shark. You could see some shark stuff. Uranus at the top, media misbehaving. And you see that Pluto's 2 degrees, almost 3 degrees off the descendant if you're in Kona. So I decided to check it out on the other end of the islands. There's Lahui. And look, Pluto's almost exact. So if there's going to be a shark scare or something of that nature, it's more likely to be up on that western side of the islands, huh? More likely to be around Kauai. Good heavens, maybe they're going to poison poor Lahua Island more. Eek! Here I got 2 funny things to share with you. Lighten your load a little bit. The first one is called Simon's Cat. This cartoonist just draws pictures and makes little sounds like cat. This is Simon's Cat. They're little clips, 4 or 5 minutes. Just Google Simon's Cat and you will get it, and you will laugh, I guarantee. Okay, here's the other one, Mr. Bean. He's a European comic, and there's little clips of him, 1, 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. He is hilarious. He goes through all kinds of situations. So both of these, Simon's Cat and Mr. Bean, just Google Mr. Bean, and you'll get all of his funny, funny stuff. Make you laugh. Laughter's good for your sanity. Now for something completely different. What I'm about to share with you represents 2-3 years of really hard work, and it's my invention. It's very unique and original, like a lot of the astrology I do, the gambling, the leave the house, the sky mirror. Anyway, this is about the age of Aquarius, and I went looking to see when I thought the age of Aquarius might start. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, so this is all about Uranus. So I wound up looking. I had already discovered that what makes a planet act up and give vibes to humanity and saturate our consciousness is when the planet stations and when full moons and new moons accent that planet. It looms large in the world for a while. So I knew how to spot when this planet Uranus, becomes a big deal. What I didn't expect was there's 2 sides to this, a positive and a negative. And I got 2 graphs. And one graph has to do with isolationism. Throw out anybody who's not like us. We're kind of having some of that now. The other side is brotherhood. It's the 2 sides of Uranus. In la catch, brotherhood, the age of Aquarius, or isolationism. Put a fence around it. So here's the data. Okay, here's the original graph of the work that I did on this, which startled me a lot once I saw it. There's a red curve here. This represents times when the sun was opposing Uranus. Okay? The sun opposing Uranus is the lunations that say, we don't like Uranus, the heck with Uranus, we don't want brotherhood, we don't want in la catch, we don't even like science, we don't like Uranus, or astrology. Now, on the bottom here are years. Here's 1908, 1916, 1924, 1936, 1940, about when I was born, 48. So this is a pretty broad scale. Here's 50 years. Now the blue line here represents the opposite. It's when the sun is with Uranus, and it encourages unity and brotherhood and a feeling of getting together no matter what people are like. So that's in Lak'ech, the blue line. Now if you go start back here at 1900, what you find is the blue line is, oh, by the way, the stronger it is, these are degrees, these are minutes of longitude from the lunation. Well, that's where Uranus was, how far from the lunation, which means how strong it was. So the strongest Uranus hits are when it's within 1 degree, closer to this axis. I've got it shaded in. This is a power zone when stuff really happens. So, starting at 1900, we have the blue line in the power zone. And amazing things happened about then. I learned that was Social Security and workers' compensation and the formation and tolerance of unions. Okay, and a lot of socialist, communist kind of stuff of that flavor. Everybody gets together in brotherhood was going on. Now, this lasted from 1900, because you can see it just coming down here a little bit. There we go. Okay, 1900. So it's just coming down here, see? And here's the first hit, 1901. Pops up a little bit, comes down here again, 1906, 7, 8, really strong. And then slowly it ebbs away and it goes off. And the more it goes this way, the weaker it is. Now, here comes the red curve. This says, we don't like science, we don't like any of this stuff. We don't like Uranus. And isolationism comes in. And you can see the curve is very weak. I mean, the best time is when the brotherhood is very strong and the isolationism is very weak. So that was one of the best of times. And I almost thought that was the start of the Aquarian Age. I was looking for the times when the most brotherhood was the strongest. And I was going to pick that for the beginning of the Aquarian Age. That's how I got into this. So, now here is interesting time. The two cross. And here we have brotherhood and isolationism about equal. When was that? About 1920. Someplace around there. And then the isolationism gets stronger and stronger as it moves down into the strong zone, see? And here you are now moving into the great crash, 1929. And here is, worldwide depression. And everybody says, I got to take care of my own and put up the fence and don't let immigrants in. And yes, so this went for quite a while. You can see it's in this power zone. They had the power zone for good Uranus from 1900 to 1914 or something. And here we have the power zone for the bad, the isolationism. And it goes from 1924 to 19, 33 or something. When they cross down here, that was a difficult time. Now, what happens as you go further into this? These aren't sine wave curves. They misbehave. This is Uranus. And what got weird here is the isolation went off and got weak. And see how high it goes here? And also the brotherhood went off and got weak. But then the brotherhood comes down and gets real strong. When's that? That's 1953 and 1954 and 1955. There it is. A little short period of brotherhood and science and common sense, and Uranus is really... Now this is a great time, because when you look at the isolation thing, it's on the opposite. It's way weakened. It's very weak. Then what happens in history gets really strange. Isolationism comes down and gets very strong. You see what's happened here? This is isolationism. That's 1963, 64, 65. And that was what? Richard Nixon and the House Un-American Activities and the beginning of the drug war and intolerance in general and isolationism. But it didn't last too long. It zipped right back up there and got weakened. At the same time, brotherhood curve, the unity guy, the blue curve comes down, and look at that. Comes in there right next to the isolationism. Now, this is an amazing time in history, because here's Nixon in the drug war. Here's Woodstock. Here's 1969. You know, wow. Brotherhood came in all of a sudden. These are short bursts of isolationism, 3-4 years, and then brotherhood, 3-4 years. Off we go into history, okay? Next thing you know, I'm looking at the curve up ahead, and at the time I was doing this in the late 90s. And son of a gun, what I saw was the brotherhood curve comes down and makes a deep bowl. Well, that looks pretty much like what happened over here. Yeah, it's a repeat. And the isolation thing went off, and the brotherhood came in real strong here. What's this, United Nations? I don't know what. 1988, goes up to 1999 or so. We had a pretty good run at it. History follows these things, my friends. Okay, here I got an addition to the graph. And so I lined up 1988, and here's the blue line. And you can see I colored it green here, but it goes off, and it gets real weak. Here's the red curve. And the red curve, which is coming down, comes down here and gets stronger than the brotherhood, isolationism. And look at what's happening as you move up to our time. Now this is an 84-year cycle and repeats. And so we're having a repeat. And here's isolationism, which peaks out pretty strong. It doesn't go all the way into the zone. I mean, yes, it is. Here's peaks, starts about 2013 here. And it's in the zone during this period. And it goes to 20, 22, 23, 24. So we've got a heavy-duty period here that's not going to be a lot of fun. And because the brotherhood curve is off. And we're in it. You can see we're sitting right here. You know, and that's why you see fences going up and Trump elected, and there's nobody likes science. There's all this backlash against Uranus right now. And we've been stuck with it for a while you go through this period. Yeah. Now this period here is the same as this period here. So, you know, we were back in 1925 to 1935. 1925 to 1935, here we are again, doing the same isolation trip, okay? Because it repeats every 84 years. Now, this isolationism Yeah, I got some odd notes here. I was worried about an asteroid hit, and there I penciled that in. Still am. That's a big one. Won't talk about it now. But when I saw what I got, and how this big hat, when you work in the lunations, and the distance from the lunation, and the strength of it, you get these amazing curves. Now, every one of these points on this graph had to be hand calculated. I did not have computer help to do this, so it took a long time. And you can see the way it comes out. Okay, now let's change consciousness a little bit. What are these things? Well, I tried Neptune, and Neptune just all over. There's no discernible pattern when you mix in the lunations on Neptune. So I tried Pluto, and look what I got. Pluto gets really strong in these spikes. Here's one. Here's another spike. This spike peaked out in 1988, really 87 to 89. Panicky, nuclear, power trips, underground stuff. Here's another peak of it, panicky. You know, this is 2000, 1999 to 2002 or 3, goes all the way up to 2000. Anyway, here's another one. Another spike in plutonian stuff. It runs from 2011, 2012. Wow. So you could go back and find stuff here and correlate these things with history, and you'll be shocked at what you see. Up ahead, well, here's another spike in the Pluto thing. Comes down 2026 and 2027. And so we're going to, and we don't have Brotherhood coming in for a while. Brotherhood has gone off and got weak. Doesn't come back until 2038. So doesn't that explain a little bit of why the world's this way to you? Sure does to me. Age of Aquarius? Well, I got poetic. I said, touching man's soul, like a dragonfly coming down and touching the water again and again and again. The good Uranus curve, the blue curve, comes down and gets strong. And then from 1988 to now, a lights to finish. Celebrate February 6th, 1997, Age of Aquarius.